Covert narcissists live a painful life on Earth. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm really glad you've clicked on this video today. Whether you're familiar with the topic or just stumbled upon it, I think this discussion is going to be eye-opening for all of us. We're diving deep into something a lot of people don't quite understand: covert narcissism. When we think of narcissism, most of us imagine that loud, arrogant person who thrives on attention. But today, we're going to peel back the layers and focus on a different kind of narcissism, the quiet kind. The subtle kind. The kind that's often hidden in plain sight. Covert narcissists. You may have heard this term, or maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it, but trust me, it's something that deserves our attention. Covert narcissists are not the flashy, in-your-face type you might expect. Instead, they live in the shadows, blending into the background, but their internal world is just as complicated, and often more painful than you'd expect. In fact, it's fair to say they live a painful life on Earth. And today, we'll explore why. As we dig into the emotional and psychological landscape of a covert narcissist, I think you'll see how this way of living, though outwardly controlled, is actually filled with struggle, insecurity, and an endless search for validation that never truly satisfies. So sit back, grab a drink or a snack, and let's get into this deep and complex topic. To start, let's define what we mean by covert narcissism. A covert narcissist, unlike the overt narcissist, who is easy to spot because of their need to be admired and their often larger-than-life personality, is much more subtle. The covert narcissist doesn't outwardly seek attention, but they still crave validation, adoration, and a sense of superiority. They may appear shy, humble, or even self-deprecating, but underneath that facade lies a deeply wounded individual with the same inflated sense of self-importance as any other narcissist. The difference is, they're not as obvious about it. Now, imagine living life constantly needing affirmation but being too afraid or insecure to seek it out directly. Instead of demanding attention, covert narcissists manipulate situations to get what they need, often through guilt-tripping, playing the victim, or appearing helpless. They might fish for compliments subtly or dwell in their own self-pity, hoping someone will notice their suffering and provide them with the validation they crave. But this behavior creates an inner world that's conflicted, confused, and frankly, painful. At their core, covert narcissists are deeply insecure. They doubt themselves constantly, even though they believe they are deserving of special treatment. This contradiction creates immense internal tension. On the outside, they may seem calm or withdrawn, but inside, there's a storm raging. They are highly sensitive to criticism, and any perceived slight can send them into a spiral of self-doubt, anger, or bitterness. They replay conversations in their minds, looking for signs that they've been wronged or overlooked. It's a never-ending mental cycle of doubt, self-pity, and frustration. Now, because covert narcissists often struggle with these intense feelings of inadequacy and insecurity, they tend to harbor a lot of resentment toward the world. They look around and see others getting the attention they feel they deserve. But instead of outwardly showing their anger, they keep it inside, letting it simmer until it either manifests in passive-aggressive behavior or in quiet, seething rage. It's a painful way to live, always wanting something from others but never feeling secure enough to go after it in a direct way. The world, in their eyes, becomes a place that constantly overlooks their value. This resentment often gets projected onto others. Covert narcissists might harbor grudges, feel jealous of others' successes, and feel victimized by life in general. They may feel like they are always giving and never getting in return, though this is rarely the case. The truth is, they are often so focused on themselves and their needs that they fail to see the contributions of others. But because they see themselves as victims, they believe the world owes them something more, and that sense of entitlement is what causes so much inner turmoil. The covert narcissist's pain also stems from their difficulty forming genuine connections. You see, narcissists, whether overt or covert, struggle with empathy. They cannot fully understand or appreciate the feelings of others because they are too wrapped up in their own internal world. Covert narcissists, in particular, may seem like they care about others, but their actions are often driven by their need to be validated. They might help someone, not out of genuine concern, but because they want to be seen as helpful or kind. But when they don't receive the praise or acknowledgement they expect, they feel slighted and the cycle of resentment continues. In personal relationships, this can be incredibly damaging. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly needs validation but can never ask for it directly. It's exhausting for the partner, who may feel like they're always walking on eggshells, trying to figure out what the covert narcissist needs but never being able to meet those needs fully. Covert narcissists often leave their partners feeling drained, confused, and emotionally manipulated. They're masters at creating guilt, and they often make their partners feel responsible for their unhappiness, even though the covert narcissist's unhappiness comes from within. Their pain is also compounded by their constant comparison to others. Covert narcissists are always looking at what others have, what others achieve, and where others are in life. But instead of seeing those things as inspiration, they view them as personal affronts. Someone else's success becomes their failure. They might pretend to be happy for others, but deep down, they're seething with jealousy. This perpetual state of comparison prevents them from ever truly being content or happy with what they have. They're always chasing something they feel they deserve, but never quite reaching it. What makes this even more difficult is that covert narcissists are often unaware of their own behavior. They may not even realize that they are narcissists because their behavior doesn't match the traditional idea of what a narcissist looks like. They don't see themselves as arrogant or grandiose. Instead, they see themselves as misunderstood, overlooked, and victimized by life. This lack of self-awareness makes it nearly impossible for them to change. How can you fix a problem you don't even know exists? At the end of the day, the life of a covert narcissist is a lonely one. Despite their desire for validation and attention, they often push people away with their passive-aggressive behavior, their victim mentality, and their inability to form genuine connections. They may be surrounded by people, but they feel isolated. They may receive compliments, but they never feel good enough. Their life is a constant battle between wanting to be seen and heard and being too afraid to step into the spotlight. But what makes this all the more tragic is that covert narcissists are capable of change, if they can recognize their behavior and be willing to do the work. Like all narcissists, their actions stem from deep-seated insecurities and fears. If they can address those issues, if they can learn to be vulnerable and open up about their true feelings instead of hiding behind manipulation and self-pity, they can begin to heal. It's not an easy process, and it requires a level of self-awareness and humility that most narcissists lack. But it is possible. In therapy, covert narcissists can start to understand the root of their insecurities and how their behavior impacts those around them. They can learn healthier ways to communicate their needs, to ask for validation without resorting to manipulation, and to build genuine connections with others. But the first step is recognizing that they are a covert narcissist in the first place, and that's a huge hurdle to overcome. So, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with this thought. While covert narcissists may live a painful life, that pain doesn't have to define them. With self-awareness, a willingness to change, and the right support, they can break free from the cycle of insecurity and resentment that keeps them trapped. And for those of us who may have a covert narcissist in our lives, understanding their pain can help us set boundaries and encourage them to seek help, without getting caught up in their manipulation or guilt trips. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this deep dive into the world of covert narcissism. I know it's a heavy topic, but it's an important one. If you found this video helpful or insightful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And as always, feel free to leave your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Take care, and until next time, stay aware and take care of your emotional health. Thanks for watching.